Alpha women tend to attract many haters, many jealous people, many people who find her intimidating, many people who have an issue with the alpha female, the alpha woman. What is an alpha woman to start with? Her personality type is very much a take charge kind of woman. That can be a positive and a negative. It can be a positive in the way that she runs her life, the way she conducts her business, the way she conducts herself in the world, the way she goes after the things that she wants and needs, and she doesn't make any apology about it. It can be a negative in her relationships when it comes to her interactions with men. There is a time for the alpha woman to be that lead, to be that take charge, but being a feminine woman, it's important to know how to lean back into your femininity and let your man lead. But that's not the point of this video. The alpha female, the alpha woman, will often be a target of jealousy and envy from other women simply because she does not follow, she likes to lead, especially when it comes to her interactions with other women, especially women that she deems as being harmful, as trying to bully her, as trying to intimidate or take advantage of her. The alpha woman, the alpha female, she can recognize when somebody's trying to play her and adjust her personality, adjust her mentality, adjust the way that she interacts with you. An alpha woman can go from being very sweet, very nice, to being very catty, very snarky, and maybe even making you cry if it comes to that point. This is a completely raw and savage video on the alpha woman. So if you are a little sensitive when it comes to topics such as women being, catty and snarky toward one another, this might not be for you. But if you really want to understand how certain women operate when they interact with one another, continue to watch. The alpha woman is the type of woman who might be as sweet as pie, but when pressed the wrong way, she can absolutely make you feel like you are now under her thumb. The alpha woman does not like to deal with women who try to sister girl or homegirl her. What do I mean by that? She is no one's sidekick. She is no one's little buddy. She is no one's little anything. She thinks of herself in such a high light, not that she isn't humble, but she has that much confidence and self-assuredness that she can recognize when a woman is trying to somehow shrink her down to size. When women are intimidated and jealous by other women, they tend to discredit and try to make other women feel like they are less than the next woman. And the issue comes with the alpha woman and why she might have issues with other women. It's because she refuses to let other women do that to her. She refuses to let other women put her into a lower position than what she knows she could be in. The alpha woman is the type of woman who creates the tables that other women desire to sit at. She does not beg to sit at anyone's table. She simply creates her own. And when you have that kind of mentality as an alpha woman, you may be hated on, ostracized, and envied by other women. Other women who are jealous and envious don't like to see women who don't really try to vie for their approval, vie for their attention. You don't really care either way if you're being accepted by other women or not, because you understand and you know that the way you are and the impact you make and just your overall presence, it will attract the right women to you. So when you operate that way, especially if you have the alpha personality where you are more of the leader and not the follower, you will be a target for jealous, envious women. Let's go to that follower portion. A lot of women who are jealous and envious of other women, they want other women to be their followers. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with just everybody being equal, because in humanity, as women, as people, we are relatively equal. I'm not talking about race, politics. I'm just talking about as a human being, we are equal. But when it comes to dynamics between women, when it comes to that follower and leader dynamic, when a woman is jealous of another woman, when she's envious of another woman, and the woman that she's envious and jealous of happens to be an alpha woman, she will be jealous of her. She will have a problem with her. She will dislike her simply because she cannot make that woman her follower. She cannot make that woman her little buddy. Just because she can't make that woman her little sis, somebody she can take under her wing and mold her and make her into what she wants her to be, she will have an issue with her. Alpha women, alpha females are not easy to manipulate. They are not easy to mold. Alpha women, alpha females, they very much know and understand how they want to operate and how they want to be. And if somebody comes along, especially another woman, in their catty attempts to somehow discredit and downplay her and get her to dim her light, an alpha woman will not take that well at all. She will look at that as if you are somehow threatening her as a woman. Alpha women do not have time for women who try to trade little remarks and try to go on a discrediting spree against other women. Alpha women, and I can consider myself somewhat of an alpha woman because I like to lead in certain reactions, not in certain situations. Not in my relationship, but when it comes to business, when it comes to, making my money, when it comes to, workplace things, I very much like to take the lead because I know how to do things and I have a certain routine that's comfortable for me. And when you are that kind of woman around women who desire to lead over top of you, and they are not someone who likes you, but they're someone who loathes you, and they actually want to see you fall, if they cannot make you their follower, they will do everything in their power to try and bring you down. And trying to go against an alpha woman and her personality being so strong oftentimes, that is the last thing that a woman wants to do. That is the last thing that a jealous, envious woman would ever want to do, is to put you in a position where you feel like you have to fight your way out. See, alpha women, because they're not easily manipulated, because they're not easily pliable, where you can just make and tell them whatever you want to tell them, people, especially women, will take issue with you simply because you're not believing the things they want you to believe about yourself. And this is another trait of an alpha woman. An alpha woman is very much self-assured, self-validated. So it doesn't matter what another woman says about her, she's not budging. You could say her hair looks ugly. You could say she looks ugly. You could say her face, her dress, her clothing. You could say whatever she has looks a certain kind of way, and it will roll off of her back. Everybody's human. Of course, you may be annoyed in the moment, but you're not changing up your actions because somebody else is displeased with you. You're not changing up your looks or your style simply because a woman is talking about you. Alpha females, alpha women, they do not change how they operate, how they dress themselves, how they look because another woman is talking about them. Once again, alpha women are the leaders. They have that leader mentality. They have that, they don't follow the trends. They have their authentic way of being, personality. And when you operate that way, where nothing really phases you, where you hear things, but it doesn't really matter to you because you don't care, because you're looking at the person saying it and you're like, who are they? Even if by society standards, whoever they are, happens to be a person of high status, happens to be a person who has a lot of money, a lot of worth, whatever, you don't care because you set the tone for how you operate as a woman. Because you are your standard. You're not looking to anybody else for inspiration because you are your own inspiration. Not saying that you can't, but the point I'm making is that you don't hold any woman in that high of regard other than yourself. Maybe your mother, maybe your grandmother, but I'm not speaking in that way. And when you think that way about yourself, as most alpha females, alpha women do, you will be the target of jealous women. And I want to backtrack a little bit onto that follower, because a lot of relationships between women, a lot of friendships, a lot of sisterhood interactions go awry simply because you end up having other women who desire to lead over top of other women. Now, I have to say this, even with being, an alpha female, alpha woman, having that kind of strong personality in different facets of my life, I had to learn and understand that it's not cool to try to sister girl or lead everybody. Everybody doesn't want to be led, nor is it your job to do that. And sometimes with women, if they have an alpha personality, they might desire to take everybody under their wing. And that's not necessarily your job. Now, add to that, if a woman, she doesn't have to be an alpha female, but if she is the type of woman who is jealous and catty and she desires to, make herself feel better by trying to lord over everybody what she does and how she is and all of that, and she wants to make you a replica of her, that a lot of time is the reason why relationships between women do not work out. It's because there's no mutual respect between women. If you have to have a relationship, have to have a sisterhood dynamic where there has to be someone who deems themselves as being better than somebody else, and you all can't be equal, you all can't appreciate each other's unique values and traits and things that you bring into the friendship, into the relationship, that is when things will go south for many women. And for me, it's not that I was trying to make somebody be under me or anything like that. It's because of that nurturing way about myself that I found myself doing a little too much, where it's like, okay, that's not your daughter. I always kind of came from that mom trying to make sure, this is okay, you're okay, that's okay. And then even if my intention was good, sometimes it could be looked at as in, okay, you're trying to control me. And definitely don't want to do that in any relationships, any friendships. So even as alpha women, alpha females, you have to be mindful of not allowing your good to be spoken of as evil, to not allowing your, good intention to be twisted into being something that it's not. But some women, when they have jealousy and envy, they very much have an evil intention when they want to lord over you and somehow lead you in some way. I have been on the flip side of that, where I've had women who tried to so-called lead over top of me, trying to get me and mentor me as if I needed so much help, not realizing at the time what they were saying is that they think that I'm not as good as them. They think that I could be just like them, that they're the standard. And when I realized that, somebody's trying to sidekick me, they're trying to, in essence, and you know how women, sometimes we do those backhanded kind of compliments, unfortunately, or those backhanded gestures and concern and help, where you step in to so-called help somebody, but actually what you're doing is you're trying to highlight their flaws in order to make yourself look and feel better in the eyes of others. That's when you have your so-called fake friends, fake family step in and like, oh, well, those the only shoes you got, that's okay. If that's the only dress you got, that's okay. At least you got something, that kind of mentality. And women tend to do those kind of things to one another when they feel insecure. But back to the alpha female, alpha woman. As an alpha woman, when you have that kind of strong-willed, strong-minded leadership kind of way about you, just in general, you have to be mindful of the fact that, and this is one that I hear so often, men may be intimidated by you. Some men, if they are not used to dealing with a woman who has a strong personality, I'm not saying a strong nature, because it's different to have a strong personality and a strong nature. When you have a strong nature, that means you will not allow anybody else to have control other than yourself. And that can absolutely destroy relationships. Ladies, when it comes to men and when it comes to your marriage, when it comes to your engagement, you do not want to be the type of woman who does not know how to cut off her alpha femaleness. There's a time for that in your relationship, especially when you get married. If you're an alpha female and you know how to lead in different ways, if you know how to, work out business and get things done, that's when you have to balance out your alpha female personality, your alpha woman personality, and use that to be of greatest assistance to your husband. Get what I said. Greatest assistance. Not lead him, not lead the situation, but be of assistance, be of help. And I can tell you, there is nothing good that will come out of being an alpha female, an alpha woman in your relationship. All it's going to do over time is to put more bricks and pressure on your back. If you step into that more masculine role of leading in your relationship, taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of, that will be your role for the rest of your life until you decide to lean into your femininity and actually let him lead. And when I say let, I mean respectfully fall back so that he can take that position. But any other place, in business, and when it comes to making your money, being an alpha female can be absolutely great because you go after those things that you want and you strategize in your mind and you can see different opportunities as they're in process. And that's another reason why sometimes out in the real world, you may have issues with other women simply because you don't have time to play the games with women being jealous, catty, and petty when it comes to getting your money. A lot of times you see these kind of things in the workplace where women try to use these passive aggressive attitudes. They try to use these little remarks. They try to use, office place gossip. They try to use favoritism and all these different things in order to distract you from getting to your bag, as they say. And as an alpha female, as an alpha woman, you are often the type of woman who sees someone, especially a woman, trying to make things harder for you, and you shut it down in the very beginning. If you see that a woman is displaying jealousy, envy, cattiness, whatever, inside the workplace or wherever it is that you're accessing your money, wherever it is that you're trying to thrive, whether it be in your workplace, whether it be in your education, whatever you're doing, an alpha woman has no problem addressing a woman and letting her know that she's aware of what she's doing and that it's not going to work. And alpha females, more times than not, when we understand and see that there's a woman who does not like us or does not want us around, or she's trying to distract in some way, we make it our mission to occupy the space where she is so that she can understand that she does not run this. And that's a part of having that feminine queen energy. When you're the type of woman, which is nothing more than having confidence, when you have that kind of confidence and when you value the things that you want, be it getting your degree, be it getting a promotion at your job, be it making sure that you make it through to get your check at the end of the week, you have no problem setting a standard with other women. Unfortunately, this is the way you have to move around some women, especially when they have that overbearing. There's a difference between having an alpha female and alpha woman personality and a difference between being an overbearing, obnoxious, catty, miserable, mean-spirited kind of woman. When you are around those type of women, especially in the workplace, that is the most important place where you have to stand your ground and you have to be strong, be it resilient in your mind and even strong in your body language and the way you carry yourself. You cannot be around masculine, overly masculine, catty, mean-spirited, bully type of women and be like a little mouse. You just can't be that way. And a part of me just hates that I have to have this conversation, but unfortunately, this is the way it is in many places and many dynamics amongst women, where you have to know how to protect yourself in the presence of hyenas. You have to know how to protect yourself in the midst of savage women, women who have that savage-like mentality. There are women who are leaving their jobs, leaving back opportunities, leaving homes, leaving relationships because some woman has intimidated them out of what was rightfully theirs, because some woman has intimidated them out of their man, out of their money, out of their car, out of their house. That's ridiculous and that needs to stop. No woman, no person has a right to bully another woman. And you would think that this is some kind of high school talk, as if these things just happen in middle school, high school. Nobody's like that. Once you get out of college, nobody's like that. No, You still have some 40 and 50-year-old mean girls who are trying to intimidate women into backing down out of their purpose. And it is my job, it is my goal to encourage you to stand confidently even in the midst of women who want to make you feel less than what you are. Even in the midst of women who are trying to get you feel like you don't belong where they are or where you desire to be. And that is one of the beautiful things about being an alpha female. And of course, your personality is your personality. For me, I lapse between the alpha female and the sigma female, where I'm kind of like more introverted, but I can be outward, extroverted as well. But when you are the type of woman who's just like, look, I don't have time for that. You have to really get in your mind, and I know how this is going to sound, but I have to say how it is. Ladies, when it comes to conducting your business and leveling up and becoming the woman you want to become, you literally have to have the mindset, I run this. Whatever your this is. If you are in school, if you're in college and you're sitting in your dorm, or you're sitting in your, college session, you're sitting in your lecture, and you see some girl, she's always eyeing you, she's always giving you the toxic negative energy every time you come in, you have to have in your mind, I run this. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get my degree. I don't know what she's doing, but she'll probably never say it to me. And keep it moving. Those are the times when you have to have that big girl kind of energy, that big girl kind of mentality, and say, I will not let someone stop me from getting and doing what I need to do. In the workplace, Miss Betty and Susan and Kamisha and Tanisha and all them other ones down there saying and doing whatever they're doing, that is not the time where you just sit there and just feel and absorb all that energy. That's the time where you go down there and you take your, that was real crazy. Hope it didn't mess up everything. But that's the time where you have to go down there and say, good morning, good afternoon, how's everybody doing? Did y'all go to lunch yet? Just make little conversation. Women who do not like you and are jealous of you or jealous of you, they don't like when you make an effort to make conversation, because they know that that they don't necessarily care for you and you just don't care. And I know, once again, to some people, this may be like, that's crazy. Why are women like this? I don't know. I was born into this species of woman, okay? Into this humanity of woman. I don't know, but I just have been around long enough, been in enough work environments, enough, educational environments, enough churches, enough places to know that women can be something else. And you have to know how to carry yourself in a confident way and not let them devour you as women. All right? When my iPad dropped, that kind of threw me off a little bit. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Yes, women, I love women. I want women to love each other. But the fact of the matter is, not all women love other women. And not all women will be girls. And not all women want to see other women succeed. And when you realize that, you begin to put your big girl pants on and you carry yourself in a way that allows you to still maintain, even in the midst of women who are trying to bully you, trying to, make life hard for you. They're acting like savages. They're trying to intimidate. Don't let it stop you from doing the things you need to do as a woman. All right? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. Once again, if you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I love to see it. I don't know. As you may tell, the sun is out, springtime is coming, and I'm feeling really, really good. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I absolutely appreciate you. Take care.